Hello my dear Cancer, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between March 1st and March 15, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I have put astrological information for the month of March in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se, where you can also check out and buy all the decks that I'm using in my videos. So I used the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquise and illustrated by Scott Murphy, and I will start shuffling your cards. So when I open your deck here, Cancer, I see a lot of water. It's Two of Cups, that's love and soulmate union. It's also the Eight of Cups, and that is when you sacrifice that soulmate union because maybe it has been too big of a burden. We can see the person being dressed in black as if they are sad or mourning. We can also see that there's a half moon and it's perfectly half. So it's something I think that is half done or half made through. But half true, you are losing patience with this and losing your energy also. It's what I'm feeling. So this soulmate union, we have a little turtle there that I see now. So it might be that it's a little bit too slow for you, Cancer, and therefore you're losing patience and you want to walk away. It might be also that the relationship has drained you in different ways. And with drainage, we see a lot of drainage here. It's a river going there and a little bit, little water is also going in this direction. And there's a frog there and also a fish. So I'm thinking that you're dealing with a lot of water, a lot of emotions. It might have been rather emotional due to the different moons, like how the moon has behaved since the beginning of January, to be exact. It was two full moons in January, no full moon, and also the later part were with a full lunar eclipse, and then there was no full moon in February, but a partial solar eclipse that will actually happen tomorrow. When I'm doing this, it's Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine. But I've put all this information for you in the astrological video, but also Mars will have two full moons, so I think this is going to be a very emotional time. I do the astrological videos so that you can understand what I'm seeing in the cards. Okay, so I call the divine with love and light, and here we have the Five of Wands and this soulmate connection. So probably you don't see eye to eye with a person that has your heart in a tight grasp. Okay, so I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world. And here we see a King of Swords. So for many Cancers, you will be involved with an air sign or with a person that is fairly detached from their emotions, while Cancer can be very emotional. But some Cancers might also be the King of Swords, like a person that might be disconnected from their emotion and leaving relationships behind because you're putting logic above your heart. In other cases, it's someone else that does this. And I call the six elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Cancer viewers. So we saw the Four of Cups. Here's also an Ace of Swords. So it seems like this passage, my dear Cancer, needs your full attention, and the full attention needs to be inside your body. This person is meditating, feeling the full inside of their body, and we can also seeing this wolf that's attacking this person. So I'm thinking it's trial by fire inside of that little body. And it might be feeling like you're eaten by wolves or left to the wolves all alone. But this passage, it seems like you might need to go through it alone. And it's because you need your full awareness. You need to know what's going on inside of you. Attention is the key. Why do you need to have this attention? The attention, your I in the I am, it's your soul. So if you put your I with the attention on the inside of your body, you will make this transformation much more easier. Your soul is light. So when you're putting the attention light inside this body, you're also healing, and you are finding out more and more, like you're making yourself a room here, and more of the shadows is being they are escaping when the light comes, and they are not really escaping, they are more being digested by the light. So everything that's put to light will self become light, but it's going to be painful. Blood, sweat and tears, victory at last, for you, my dear Cancer. So this is more important than any love relationship, though the love relationship might have led you here. The sadness of it, and probably many losses. I feel that you might feel also the losses from many lifetimes, not only this one. So it might be all out of proportion, the sadness, but it's not out of proportion to what you have actually experienced with your soul through these lifetimes. So bear with yourself. Don't be frustrated with yourself for not being able to think clear or to be rational. Because this is going to consume a lot of your time and probably a lot of your strength too. You might feel very weakened, but it's just because there's a passage that you need to go through with your utter awareness. It reminds me of a dream. I wrote it down in the comment section of the astrological video, so I can pin it, so I can put it on top. So you can check that dream out and see if it's make any sense for you. So I want my dear Cancer to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path to your highest destiny. So for my dear Cancer, the first part of March 2018, so it's done. Great. I will just tune into you, Cancer, and your energy for a few seconds. Okay, so my dearest, here is your future, Cancer, there. And this is your now, and this is the past. So the past will be probably February. February was a dark month without any full moon and with a partial lunar eclipse, no, solar eclipse. So also the sun was shaded, and it was the time is now when I'm recording this, 14th of February. Tomorrow will be the lunar eclipse, and this is the time when you are probably going to have like less energy, because you are supposed to be inside yourself and just digesting whatever is going on there. So 4 of Cups, no offers of partying or other things is being accepted, because you need to do a lot of yoga, mindfulness and meditation in that order. You start with the yoga, you go into mindfulness because you feel your whole body, and then you end it all with deep meditation. That's very refreshing. Okay, and here is the now. So that is the first part of March, and we see you are being in Mars position. This is Leo Mars in Leo. So it's actually the planet Mars in Leo in March. Okay, so 7 of Wands, you're standing up for something. I think I know what it is. What you have been figuring out or digesting inside of yourself is something that calls chivalry love. Okay, it's love with very high moral standards. And it's a person being very much, they love themselves, but they also have unconditional love towards others. They have firm boundaries, but also a big heart. So this is what you are going to fight for in the future, Cancer, to draw down this chivalry love to earth and nothing else but it. So this is what's going to be from now on. You are not going to accept any other than loyalty and honesty, people sacrificing themselves for one another, for a higher cause, and for love. So no more of this me, myself, and I thingies. Okay, and this is the future here for you, Cancer, and we have the Fool. So it suits Cancer well to have the Fool, because you are seen as a very naive sign, because you are very close to the heart region, and you are water, and you're also the Queen of Cups, which is a force of empathy, and also being like an emotional empath, and that can make you very naive. And this is the Fool, so it's your soul that has come down to earth to do something to do something that's important. And we have the face of the sun reflecting in the waters as a new moon or a crescent moon. And we have also the snake there trying to reach the backpack, so it's saying something about your past lives. So I'm thinking there's a past life connection through all this. It might be a love, a long lost love that you have lost through eons. You might have found it again, or it might be lost also for this lifetime. But you're going to hold that kind of love very high and not sell it off for short pleasures or short amusements. Okay, so now we're going to dive deep into the month of February. And here we have the actual Queen of Cups, so that's the Cancer. It might of course be another Cancer. It can be a Scorpio or a Pisces as well. It can also be any person on the outside that's an emotional empath, or someone that's very open. And it's reminding me of the dream I had again, that I put in the comment section as an answer to a person. I was on a party and I stand with a cup in my hand. So I'm thinking I was in this watery element. Also with happiness, what we saw also with the Fool here, it's being happy. Though the Queen of Cups in this, she looks not happy maybe, but amused, or she at calm, like at ease. And she has the moon here and all the moon's faces, the new moon and all the new moon's faces there above her. And it's a waterfall, so it's with the water. She also have a little pond with her with her feet, and it's small fishes also. And this long black hair, reminding her on what she has been through, the darkness that she has left behind or still are in, because we saw the Four of Cups. So you're probably dwelling here. It's a dark place because you're sad. It's a dark place because you have a lot of memories, and those memories are of good times that was worth having, but you lost them. So you might have lost lovers, children, family members, also things that you were able to do in other lifetimes and in this lifetime. So we all have these kind of losses, but it's also what's making us know that we have a heart, because if you can't feel our emotions, we are not able to know what's in our heart either. So when we open our heart to the love that are going to come, we're also going to open our heart to what we remember, things that we needed to sacrifice or that was taken away from us. So this is what I'm feeling with this Queen of Cups, and she's okay with it. She sits there in her blue dress and being totally fine with it. So this is what I want you to also be able to do. And if you're watching in February, you can still get that that memo, but in other case, we can just hope that you were able to. Yes, and here comes the sadness which I felt, the waterfalls that came down from the mountain like a tsunami. And now the water has passed, and it's like a pile of swords before you. So it might be how you have been abandoned, or how people took a wrong turn, not knowing that it would be a wrong turn, and they took themselves away from you, or you took that wrong turn. So it might be a lot of regret, it might be shame also, or guilt, Also that you might feel like someone has treated you in a cruel way. And we can see a little bit of her black hair again there underneath the dress. And here she has the moon above her head, but here's the sun. Unfortunately, it's shining from her backside, but it's very good in some sense, because now she can see her shadow. Okay, and that is the thing that you need to digest and integrate. You can see her sitting in him, he, her, it doesn't matter, sitting in this sitting in easy pose, and this is another pose, I have forgotten the name, but it's good for digestion. Okay, and this is what you need to do here, digest. I don't know if you can hear it, but my dog is dreaming and having small japs. So you have the wolf here, that's the wild dog, and it's the divine masculine. So it's here, and it has its tail around her. So I think that you during this past year has gotten your divine masculine personality into place, so you now can protect yourself, and therefore you can take this time now to be vulnerable and feel your feelings again. You had to be a warrior, even though you didn't want to. You had to be a warrior, and you needed to learn to protect yourself, and now you have. So the divine masculine is yours. He's out in the sun, so it's just your shadow here now. What has made you sad throughout your life, and that might be from different events in your life, your childhood, but also past life experiences. And this is all that's set on your table right now, and it's winter here. The tsunami came, and now it's time to look at it with sharp view, very sharp light also. Snow is reflecting a light very, very beautifully. And here we have a Knight of Wands, and I talked about the warrior you have had to be during this past year, and it's like, I got the torch, now I got the fire. That's from a song. It's my favorite group, but I don't even know their name just right now. Every time I do readings, I lose my brain. So sorry, but you can figure it out. Probably it's a song for you. I got the torch, now I got the fire to burn this MF down. So I will put it in the description box when I get my brain back. Knight of Wands, it might be a Sagittarius person in your life. It might be something that you long for. You want to do something with your creative force, with this longing that you have from your soul. And you probably know what it is, but it might be that you feel that you're very lonely on this mission of yours. But this is a dragon rider, and this time he's riding an eagle, so it's rather amazing. You have become one that rides with the spirits now, so that's good. And it might of course also be like a rather cruel Knight of Wands in your life, Sagittarius, Leo. It might be also an Aries, but it can be any sign, like a person that's maybe quick and hasty in and out of your life, having like high boundaries because they want something else all the time, like something where the pasture is greener and the beefs are bigger and yeah, whatever. So it's a person that has a great appetite for love and life and adventure, and they want to experience it all. It's like they think that they are worth it, okay? They are worth this. So they might see things in their life as ordinary and boring, and so they always want this new thing. And it makes a person, can make a person into a heartbreaker, of course, if they never stick to anything or anyone. But it was a part of yourself that you needed to integrate, being able to say no and not stay in a relationship just because you want to be nice. And also to be able to have the torch and, you know, not compromise yourself. You want what you want, but everything is to be taken into in moderation. If you're very much like this pure Sagittarius, we will just see the backside of you all the time, and you will never find a place to finally put your hat like down for a long time. So there's good things with everything, and that why we're taking in bits and pieces and integrating them, and we can learn what's working for us personally. Okay, And here we have a Four of Pentacles. So I guess this Knight of Wands is a person that puts up a lot of boundaries and walls, maybe towards you, and therefore it doesn't have to be a fire sign. It can be any sign. It can be earth also. We have earth here, and air. We have air there. So but anyway, this person has high walls towards you, so it makes love impossible. And they might not understand today what they are losing when they have these high walls towards you and not see your value. It might also be Cancer acting like this, that you don't see what's right before your feet, and instead you are chasing after something that you think you are worth, because this is your life and you want to fill it with extraordinary things. So you don't want to have like a lover that looks mundane, or a job that's ordinary but makes you happy. You want everything. Good looking guy or girl, and the job that will put you in the spotlight and all this. So it might make you a little bit blind to want to have those riches, and to see things like how love could be, like in the best of worlds, might make you disregard things that you have in your life today and not value them enough. I think with this scenario, many will move on from a situation that is precious, because they think that they will find something that's more precious. And here we have this little Page of Wands. So for some of you, it will also be what you need to do. Okay, you need to put boundaries, what you have learned, and follow your soul to where it wants to go, because you have this certain longing. So it's like this with the Knight of Wands. They travel the world and live in ashrams and backpack around the world, meet a lot of people. This is very social, even though the Four of Pentacles is in the middle here. So it's like it's social to a certain degree, and it's like not letting anyone close to their heart. But when they are roaming around the world like this, they are of course also getting a lot of life experience. So you see, this is riding a bird and this is listening to a bird. This one is working together with a squirrel, so he's a little bit of a miser. But so for some people, this will be a person that's a little bit posh. They think that the divine is like have selected them as a unique entity, and it's going to be favorable for them, and for other people not so much. So it's a person that sees themselves in a very shiny, bright way, and they might have a little bit of hard time to see what's right in front of them. But this can also be a person that's very open to new experience and to understand new things, and also to listen and to learn about the circumstances that they are currently in. But I'm feeling a little bit like anxiety, so I'm guessing this is something that Cancer is either you're anxious that someone will keep you stuck in a place where you don't want to be, or that someone is going to flee from you because they feel like they are in a bird's cage and they want to leave. And by leaving, they might also, how can I say this? It's like I'm seeing something very valuable that will be spilt. So that's the best thing I can do with translating my inner vision. So if someone doesn't see the value of what they have, they might waste it because they think they are called by the divine, which they might be, just to tempt them to do this thing and think that they are a little bit above everyone else and that they are deserving of more. I'm not like you. I'm something unique. I'm stepping on clouds where you are walking in mud. Okay, so some people think that they have a free ticket and that that they have a special ride, and that might be just a trickery from the divine to make you fall splash with your face down in the mud and miss someone for the rest of your life. So you need to, before you make any kind of decision about racing in any kind of direction. You need to do this digesting. It's a 4. We have the 4 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles. So try to see what's in the foundation, what's worth something in the foundation before you throw it all away. But it feels like it's 2 different energy. One is mourning what's will be gone tomorrow, and the other one welcomes this tomorrow and doesn't want to know anything about yesterday. So I guess this is Cancer. It's very look like Cancer, to be very nostalgic about the past, and it's very Sagittarius to be very racing into the future. But it's also this with the Chariot, Cancer, Sagittarius in the Chariot, two very different energies, one that wants to never come home and one that always wants to be home. So it's also 2 very, very different parts of you. So if you are meeting this person in the outside and thinking, oh, they don't value me, it's also that you don't value adventure. So you might need to start to value adventure more. And if you're very adventurous and you leave things behind, you might need to start to value what you have more and build on that. So you will have a foundation, because you won't be young and gorgeous or have this thing forever. One day you will wake up and you will feel all alone because you left a lot of things in the back burner and just left. Okay, so that's what's the past, so the story. And here we have the Ace of Swords, so it comes underneath the Queen of Cups, and we remember you remember what I said with the 4 of Cups that you have here, and this Ace of Swords. Stay awake, okay? Snap, snap. Stay awake. This is important. Also to feel any pain, trial by fire, feel any pain inside of you is very important. So try to stay alert. Try to stay with your eye, okay? Wake. You know, when you drive from A to B, I can show you my jinxes here. When you drove from A to B and you don't remember the journey here in between, then you know you fell asleep. But if you're awake during this journey, you see the other cars, you see their faces, you remember how you got to a certain place, then you were awake. So this is the thing I'm talking about. Try to stay awake. Every time you find yourself falling asleep, kind of, it's not literally falling asleep, but when you dream you're away and you are somewhere else and you forget about where you are right now, you just come back and you feel the right now again. Often we need to, our mind need to wander some to repair itself. It's almost like dreaming, but we also need to practice a lot to be awake and also see what we are thinking and feel what we are feeling. This is what enlightenment means, to become more and more aware of where you are here and now. So snap, snap, Cancer, wake, wake, wakey, wakey. And here we have the 5 of Wands. So this conflict that you have with someone else, someone that doesn't have the same value as you with life, and you are the 2 horses in the chariot dragging in one different direction, and you don't have the same idea where this chariot is going to go. So it's like 2 soulmates having 2 different ideas. So the relationship is not going anywhere, and it's important that it goes somewhere, okay? But I know that sometimes it's one person working more than the other, and then this person that works more than the other needs to step away to give more responsibility to the one that doesn't do the work. But with the 5 of Wands, we have 2 horses dragging in 2 different directions, and it's going to pull the chariot apart eventually. And here we have the 5 of Pentacles. So it seems like the Knight of Wands, this charming kind of personality that doesn't stay put, feels left out in the cold because of this conflict. And it might be that Cancer is very sharp right now, maybe also sharp-tongued, and might make people feel left out in the cold. And we have 4 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. So I can say that it was expected, because when you have very high standards and boundaries and don't put value into what you already have, of course you will lose it, okay? it's natural. If you are very possessive of yourself and you keep your secrets for yourself for yourself, and you don't share it with this other person will be very sad. They will also feel like you don't see to eye that you are actually warring tribes, and they will abandon you. This is natural course of events. This person can't work forever trying to get a connection when the other person just wants to run away all the time. So when we are very possessive like this, we lose things. People won't stay and wait for us forever. They won't stay and hold our seat. Okay, this person will marry someone else, and this person will end up alone because they were always like moving forward. This one, on the other hand, is always moving backward, and maybe needs to move a little bit forward, while this person needs to be able to stay put in what they already have. So it's how the two horses in the chariot is learning from one another. And here we have a King of Wands coming underneath the Four of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles. So this is usually Leo, can be Aries or Sagittarius as well. So we can see it's very much fire here, fire, earth. It's also fire there. So what can we say about this? Four of Pentacles and a King of Wands. King of Wands is a little bit badly situated. It seems like he has thought too much of himself, and now he's losing stuff here. Because he built too high walls around his empire, and he felt like he was the crown of creation here. Okay, see where it leads him. I'm saying him or her, whatever you see on the picture, and you can put her here and him or whatever gender. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to not confuse myself too much. And here we have a Page of Swords, and I think they can be fairly genderless, these pages. So I can't really say if this is a boy or a girl. It looks a little bit like a girl, but it can easily be a boy as well. And he has a really big sword. So I'm thinking someone has taken like too much to their head. It's like they are thinking too much of themselves. They have too big of words. That's not really adding up to what what's really going on inside. And we have a fire child and an air child. So I'm thinking that their big mouth is taking them somewhere they will end up alone. Okay, so Page of Swords is a good card. It's a person being very clear. We have the Ace of Swords here, which the page is holding. So this can easily go together very nicely. And the King of Wands is the true leader. It's kind of a soulmate. It can depict a soulmate for you as well, or your own soul. But it needs to be awake and not fall into dreams about their own sovereignty or how much you are worth compared to someone else. You are not. You're equally worth to someone else. And if you want misfortune for your next of kin, this is what you wish upon yourself too. So I think try to be clear. Yes, we need to admit to everything that's inside. So if you feel like you want to take revenge on someone by having very harsh words, it's fine, but be aware of this, that this is what you want, and that you will have to take the consequences of this. It can feel very good, but maybe just for a moment, and then you will be apart forever. So try to not burn too many bridges or chop too many cords here. You might need to this person might need to chop their umbilical cord to this person, because this person is pulling the chariot through the ditch, because they are trying to fly after something gorgeous that they see there to the right. And you want to keep yourself on the road. So maybe then you need to cut them loose and let them tumble down the ditch and live this life where they are feeling chosen, and see where it leads them. You can't really control another person, even if it's your soulmate. You can't do anything about that they are drifting like this. And it's also like this person is very spiritual. It's just that they have forgotten that they are equal to everyone else. This with the spirituality and them being like free souls have kind of gone over their head, is what I'm feeling here. Yes, and it's sorry for my voice here, but Seven of Wands. I'm thinking this is this side of this person is enough is enough. I want chivalry love. I don't want someone that's here this day and gone the next day, or in another person's arm the next day. And you need to put boundaries. It doesn't mean that you end things. It just means that you give consequences. It's like if you have a child and they waste their allowance, you don't give them more money. Okay, you let them learn the value of money, but putting boundaries. So this is kind of what I'm seeing here. I don't see a big split. I see a lot of fives. 5-5, it's conflict usually, and people not feeling worthy or loved or appreciated, left out in the cold, like other people doesn't love them enough or appreciate them enough or see eye to eye. It's like battle like this between those two horses that were supposed to be soulmates, dragging the chariot forward. It doesn't mean that this person is all right. Like if they would have their will through, they will sit at home and never experience anything. They would be very secure in their, and probably cry a lot about what has been lost in the past. So this person is more positive and like racing into the future, and we need to have something like that could call a compromise between these two. Okay, and the sevens is always challenges, so it's challenging to put boundaries towards someone that you love. You don't want to lose them, but if you don't put boundaries, you will be fed up with them and you will cut cords with them and you will lose them anyway. So you need to take yourself into consideration as well as the other person. Great, Cancer, this is your future. And here we have a 7 of Cups. So the Queen of Cups in this equation will probably feel very unloved. And will feel like they are back into swamp number 1, which they left like in the Stone Age. So you will feel like this is always how it's end up. I am always ending up like alone, sad, mourning, sorrow, whatever it can be. And it's another 7, so it shows that there's challenges with fire, challenges with water, and we have the little turtle there again. A bird. So what we have here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach. That's Guns N' Roses, I believe. November Rain album maybe, or so it's coming back to me here. My tunes. So November Rain. And yes, okay, so it's conflict, it's deep conflict. People that's in war and hurting each other, like life after life after life. And it's very hard for these two entities to communicate. They love each other, but they hurt each other to the bone, into the bone marrow. And I really don't know what to do about this in this section. Just another, like, the only thing you need to do is feel it here. What I said, you put your eye on this, and what is shadow here will become light, one way or the other. You might realize a thing or two, like, this person really doesn't put any value into me. I'm not loved. I can see clearly here that I'm not loved. Or that this is what I'm getting again and again. So you might need to try something else. You can't do the same kind of exercise and hope that it will turn out in another way. Okay, so here we have the Two of Wands. So this is the Two of Wands. It's power. It's the power doges. You're holding back yourself, like holding back a horse and saying, okay, we'll go slowly here, downhill, for example. And we see the yin and yang symbol, and it's much what I talked about with the chariot thing, and again with the birds. So here you're holding back, and you're not, you love someone, you want to be with them, but you hold yourself back from doing kind of anything, because you want to see what their reaction is first. It needs to be two to tango, okay? It needs to be two people to dance the chariot forward. It can't be that one is flying like far to the right and just dragging everything into the ditch. It needs to be more controlled. So yes, it might be that you need to snip off the reins that's holding one of the horses if they're flying like a balloon here. because you have a goal. After all, there's somewhere you want to reach with all this. You had a plan for this life, and it's like you're not working together as you were supposed to. And I'm not sure why, but we will see. Okay, Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is kind of a doorway, and I'm circling back to the dream again that I described. I need to take it here since I have gone on about it. I dreamt about Neptune. He was a little boy sitting on a big black horse in a square, like this elephant saddle. And it was like a very busy medieval, also Asian, Middle Asia kind of environment. So desert sand and stone buildings, yellow stone buildings. I was standing at a party indoors, but very high roof height, so it was big there, and it was like inside but outside, or outside but inside. It was very public place, and I stand just before a doorway like this. I stand here with my back towards the wall, and every lap that this Neptune boy, he had big seal eyes, like big eyes of a seal, brown big eyes, and he had dark hair, and he sat on this black horse. And every lap he came, the horse kicked on both sides of my head, and it then went into the doorway, the double doorway, and we see a double doorway here. So it's something to do with what's happening now in the time that we're in. Pisces, we have Neptune going into the home of Pisces. We had Venus going into Pisces, the 11th or the 12th. Some of you might have felt it, being very restless and very, very sad here. Like this kind of sad. You see something and you see the reality of things and how it has repeated itself. You see how things have worked out, not in the way that you wanted to, and you might feel very sad. So it's something here, you're holding your horse before you're going to this doorway. You need attention. I got kicked with like on both sides of my head with this big black hoofs, so I was awake, I can assure you. And here we have the Five of Swords, so more of the fives. You're really in this petty battle with someone else. It's like no one wants to budge here, and the King of Wands is certainly not going to budge with the Five of Swords and the Page of Swords. They're going to fight this fight to their knuckles bleeding, okay? So even if you have been the one that was sweet and nice and just wanted love with them, and they were the one like always running, flying, whatever they did when they went away here, they are not going to budge. I'm not seeing them budging. I'm seeing them going with this straight up head into the future. They might regret it when they are like in elderly care, 90 years old, but it will be too late then. So then it might come to this regretting things. So we have a Knight of Swords here. Knight of Swords, Page of Swords, Five of Swords. People are not being nice towards each other here. But yes, they are holding the Ace of Swords and they are galloping towards something. So find something honorable, worth fighting for, and don't give up. This is the only advice I can give you here. I don't know what will be in the door number 2, okay? But it seems to be a battle. It seems to be something of a battle. And here you are, the Fool. So what to do when you are in a battle and you are the Fool? So I think being very aware is one thing, like being very awake of what's going on and seeing things for what they really are. Be the true soul that you were when you came. Have this chivalry love, have this as a beacon, and fight for this. It doesn't really matter what this person does. We are supposed to unify with our lost soul parts, and it might also be lost people. And that's part of your group soul or your soul. It might also be twin flames due to those 2 children here. And we also have 2 knights and the King of Wands in between. So we are supposed to pick them up like lost astronaut on different planets and to make them go together with us. Also our lost soul parts, like things that you don't like with yourself and so on. But all this needs to, it's like time is moving faster, but it's also narrowing down. So we might feel like different lifetimes in the same time right now because they are coming really close. Time is speeding up and we're coming really close. So you can feel the heartbeat of a life that you had for hundreds of years ago and feel the sadness as if it was yesterday. And we're going to together go through this narrow hole here, and then it's going to widen again. It's like a birth canal. And we need to be whole. We need to put all our pieces together and come back to a whole to take ourselves through this. But if someone doesn't want to do the work or doesn't want to unify with you, it's nothing really you can do. I don't know exactly what will happen, but I'm thinking that there will be a split with timelines, and that one person will go to one timeline and another person will go to another timeline, and you might have to unify, you know, millions of years from now again in the bigger scene of things. But right now it seems like a split. So the only thing I can tell you is be honorable, stand for your words, don't try to replace someone that you miss with just another person. Chivalry love them forever if necessary, because this is going to put you on a lover's routine, okay? Instead of a warrior routine, which you don't want to be at. So lay down your arms. Don't fight battles that's not worth fighting for. Become honorable, become your bigger person. This is the best advice I can give you in this circumstance, because it seems like there will be harsh times ahead with people not really working together with you. It might of course also be an air person coming out of the blue here, and they have a beef with you, clearly, something that they want to clear up. Maybe the last word isn't said in this situation, so it might be someone from your past, or it might just be a person that you interact with here, and it's going sorry, it's going to be a little bit conflicted, to say the least, okay? Yes. How about that? Chaos and conflict. Okay. So, 33, 36, 33, there it is, okay. Disarray, being at cross purpose with one another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. Opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere, but consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, it in a sense is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purpose with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes and chaos leads to reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. Stubbornness is only going to keep you in a state of opposition. The incessant need to be right will only serve to prolong the conflict that deep down you want to be resolved. This is an opportunity moment to learn about your values, your sense of self, what's really important to you. So stay honorable, as I said, this chivalry personality. Fake it till you make it, okay? Some things are not non-negotiable. If that's true, it's not necessary to fight. Can you find a way through the stormy emotions to higher ground? Soon the air will be clear and you will be in a much better place than before, for the storm will have passed, blazing a path for new growth in its wake. Things can become electric and enlightened, always better than before if you use this time constructively. So it seems like a card that's explained something about what's going to happen here, and I think, like, don't be like the other person. Don't be all battle. If they want to be all battle, it's fine. You have learned how to battle now. You know how to do this. but you also know how to walk away from it or how to not fuel it any further. So you can say to a person, I see that you are, I see, is this what I see? Is this what I have understood? Are you like this? Is this what you want? You can reflect it back to them so they can explain themselves to you what's really going on here, because it might be a lot of misunderstandings too. Okay, so you can tell them what you see and ask if that's correct, and also feed back to them what they just said, so you know if you are on the right path. Sometimes we can just see things that's really not there, especially when you have sevens, projections. So we had 2 cards here. Safe to fall, above you the lantern dancer. Okay. 10 and 1. So 10 and 1. That's 1 both. We start with the 1 then. So it's the big blue moon there. Okay. Look beyond what appears to be. Guiding grace, like a star in the sky, shows you the way through what is happening now. I am the lantern dancer, lighting the way to a new path, a new reality for you. Even when the moon is full and you believe that you see all as it is, I know that there is something far more beautiful happening. Trust me, and I will show you. So I'm just reading the intro, so you get a little insight of the energy of that. And 10, safe to fall. So you have some excitement if you decide to have this deck for yourself. Just like the air that fills your lung, my grace is invisible and yet brings you life. Fear of falling may prevent you from truly surrendering into my care. Yet if you were to realize that it's safe to fall, that my grace will catch you as you step beyond the edge of what you have known, so much would be possible for you. I urge you to believe in what is calling you to take a leap of faith. I tell you now, my wild, sweet beloved, the call is from me, urging you to open up to a bigger world. Trust me and relinquish logic and control. I will not fail you. So I'm thinking this is about the Fool here, safe to fall. So if you long for something, even with someone that's a little bit of a warrior, you're probably supposed to. Yes, sometimes we try to hold on even when it would be better to let go. Sometimes what we hold on to is actually the very thing holding us back. If we let our fears become stronger than our trust, we will underestimate ourselves and the divine. So you need to see in your own situation if you are to show grace or let go. It can be, take the leap can also be to do something that makes your heart pound really heavy, and it might be go through this door and take the fight with someone, because it's worth taking that fight as well. So you need to decide for yourself. Yes, modern culture tends to generate suffocating fear. We can subtly become programmed to believe and act as though the world is unsafe to explore, which such an attitude we begin to contract, to defend, to close off from which what would make us uncomfortable, but also from what would help us to learn and grow and become alive and live up our divine destiny. The other choice available to us is to open our minds to the prospect of unconditional trust, as we feel safe and willing to move beyond the world we have known. The great growth will take place within you, and your life will change. So, okay, my dear Cancer, see how this is going to resonate for you into the future. So this is the first part of Mars. This is probably the second part of Mars. And it will be some trouble, but it's no major kind of thing. It's petty arguments between people that really should love each other. Okay, so my dear Cancer, take care. And you're welcome back to my mid-month Mars reading that I will perform in the beginning of Mars. Okay, bye-bye.